Starting out a career in machine learning is one of the most rewarding things that one could ever do. But of course, that comes with a reason as to why you started all this. It may be mathematics, it may be the love for the data, or it may be a mentor who you love, who you want to follow. But as a beginner, there are some mistakes that we do, including me as I'm also starting machine learning. There are some mistakes that we do that tend to hinder us in this career of machine learning. And today I have brought in some of the huge mistakes that are hindering, most especially hindering me as a person, that we may not even know, or we may not even tend to understand. So bear with me as I talk you through these mistakes that I have made as a person. One is not making time for machine learning, or not making time for coding and learning. In the first weeks, as we start this journey of machine learning, there tend to be a hype of us trying to solve all these machine learning problems, us trying to do all these data sets, or trying to solve all these problems that machine learning engineers do. But as weeks tend to go on, weeks, months, or even days, motivation tends to go down, hence hindering our morale of studying or our morale of doing the code. So I personally, that's one of the biggest problems that I have got, that eager or that motivation of learning, or that motivation of doing the code, even though I don't like or I don't feel like it. And one thing I have found helpful in my life is to set systems that have tried to help me, or set systems for a week, may it be for a week, may it be for a day. And these have really tried to help me in achieving some of the goals that I tend to achieve in the due course of either a day or a week. As all the machine learning enthusiasts out there, one of the criteria that you have to do is to set systems for learning, machine learning, at the same time trying to do the code, as this will help you improve your workflow tremendously as time moves on. So setting systems or setting goals, not only setting goals, but also setting systems to follow up on your goals can be of a very tremendous help for your learning in machine learning and for your coding or programming as a whole. The second thing is not learning the fundamentals. What do I mean by it? Fundamentals are the building blocks of machine learning. But as a beginner, we tend to have that hype of going straight into the neural networks, or going straight into these big algorithms like the random forest, like the decision trees, but leaving behind all the fundamentals, all the logistic regression, the linear regression. And yet these, the logistic regression and the linear regression, are the ones that help us to build that fundamental skill of gaining the insights in machine learning that will help us move into these other bigger algorithms. So that eager of learning neural networks, or that eager of diving into these autoencoders or the A/B testing, it will be an advice, it will be for later on. Let's first dive into these fundamentals, learning the concepts behind these logistics regression and linear regression, so that our building blocks tend to stand, so that when we get into these bigger algorithms like the random forest, onto the neural networks, so that we may not trying to fidget around with these. The third topic will be the hard work. Want it or not, machine learning actually needs a person who is fully committed, who is fully into the art of learning machine learning, the art of learning statistics, the art of learning mathematics, the art of programming, and the art of problem solving. So anyone out there, if you're not that serious into this course of machine learning and or data science, I'd urge you guys to follow some other career. But if you are seriously into this topic of machine learning, or this career of machine learning, which will be helpful for you guys in the problem solving of the business and some other benefits of data science and machine learning, I'll urge you guys to put in the time, to put in the hard work, to put in that morale of learning machine learning, of problem solving, of learning these new skills, these new topics, these new algorithms, anything that you can touch your hands on. It will be helpful. So I urge you guys to put in the hard work, to put in the commitment, and to love what you're doing, as this will not only be helpful as you're learning or as you're building yourself slowly by slowly, but in some time to come, you will appreciate yourself as why you started this and as to why you put in all this time to study machine learning. As you know, AI is evolving, and ChatGPT, most especially me, I use ChatGPT, is that it has actually evolved much more and is still evolving. And the problem for us, people who are beginning our careers in programming or machine learning, may it be machine learning, programming, or anything that concerns coding, we tend to rely our debugging or our problem solving to the artificial intelligence, which is in some way not profitable to us as beginners or as people starting this career of machine learning. AI is very good at debugging, but if you as a beginner rely so much into this sector of AI or into these LLMs, the ChatGPT, the cloud, or any LLM, I personally guarantee you that you won't learn. You won't build that brain of problem solving, which is very, very essential in our field of machine learning. So, me personally, what I do, I haven't yet put aside the LLM. I actually use it in problem solving. No, I actually use it in debugging for the topics that I haven't gained insights into. That's where an LLM comes into space. But in other topics, I try to problem solve, or I try to first debug that code before even moving it to an LLM. And after getting that debugging, or after getting that the right side of the code, I try to write it down on the small notebook, so that the next time that it comes in, I don't go to the LLM, but I open this notebook that I have, this small notebook. That's where I get the code, and in that due course, I tend to remember more, or I tend to retain more of what has actually helped me. So I urge you guys, the beginners out there, to not rely so much on the chat GPTs and some other GPTs, so that you put your focus more on problem solving and debugging. LLM is actually, this chat GPT is actually helpful, very, very helpful, but you do not want to waste your time, waste your year or waste your years deceiving yourself that you're improving, and yet you're not. You're actually remaining in the same position. So I try as much to first debug my code, or I try as much to first problem solve my code before even taking it to an LLM, so that I gain to have that improvement in my skills, or an improvement in my problem solving. So those were some of the problems that I personally have faced and I've tried to improve on day to day. And last but not least, on this channel, I intend this channel to be helpful for the people out there who are beginning this skill of machine learning, or who are just starting out this skill of machine learning. So if you are just a beginner like me, please tend to subscribe and like or comment what you're learning, so that we tend to gain that insight together.